G'day everyone, and welcome to Average Gamers Collective, where me, an average player, plays against other average players. And I try and showcase, in this case, Code 3, while I talk through my thought process and my decision making. Now we are going to play Airborne today. I've got two matches to show you if they are still a viable battle group to pick or not since patch 1.1.0. And what you'll notice that I did just then was build the scouts first for 160 manpower, then upgrade them to Pathfinders. Obviously you get them for 160 manpower instead of 200. It's pretty much a must do for this strat, just because why wouldn't you? Be it a bug or a feature, I don't know. I don't really care at this stage either. It's just what it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is send that second unit that came out straight to the opponent's field, and then we're going to start back capping with these Pathfinders here. These ones we're going to send up and start capping our own fuel. The next ones we'll send onto the Muni and then to the southern fuel point there. So we've got a rough plan in place of what we want to do and what we want to happen. So we obviously first see the engines there, and we're going to pop our Pathfinder straight in the building. For those that don't know, buildings are just green cover. So we're in green versus orange there. And obviously we've got the long range versus the SMG, so we're definitely going to win that fight. We've got nothing to worry about there. We're going to push them up and link them, and there was their pyro drop. So the thing with Pathfinders is you essentially don't want to take fights. I know they were nerfed in the fact that they don't get everything for free anymore, and obviously you've got to upgrade them. But to be honest, that's not really the strength for the Pathfinders. It's more about a decent unit for 200 manpower that's quick and mobile and decent at long range engagements. You pretty much want to avoid fights and just cap around them. The idea behind it is you just outproduce, outcap, and carry on. So like in this example, obviously we don't have our own fuel, but they don't have their own fuel now either, and as soon as we do cap their fuel, ours is linked up and we'll start getting a fuel income. There you go. That's going to be linked up as soon as we've finished capping that there. We're also capping the southern fuel, and obviously they're about to drop another Falchion Pyros on us, so that's done capping. We'll retreat them. These guys, luckily I didn't really notice that there was energy there, because they certainly would have hurt us if we'd hung around too long. Yeah, so there we go. I've got one unit of Pathfinders upgraded. That's all I've got. And you'll notice that's the one that I sent back towards the one where I suspect he's forgotten about a unit and building there. We're retreating. Like I said, you don't want to actually take fights. Yep, confirm, still in the building there. And we've got the weapon support up. Decapping their muni. We're going to drop a rifle grenade on them. He notices a touch too late. We get them clumped up right on the door, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it allows us to push straight onto our fuel. Now they're obviously laying a mine there. At the time I don't think I saw that, but yeah, that'll come back to hurt us, I'm sure. Again, like I said, we don't want to take fights. It's all about capping at this stage. Just retreat if it's not a sure thing. You know, at this stage of the game, fuel's probably pretty even. I suspect we've got more. We've got the M16 coming out. I don't expect them to have anything to challenge it at this point. Luckily, my Pathfinder seemed to run around where that mine was. Well, luckily or unluckily, we'll see. It looks like they did have mines there. I don't know what was that little. That was a funny little thing. We're also decapping their fuel again with the paratroopers. So yeah, we're gonna certainly have more fuel than they will. M16's out. I'm going to send the M16 over with the Pathfinder there to cap that southern fuel again. Paras are there still capping out the fuel, and we're going to try and split them and start just capping and decapping as much as we can. Obviously they've got unit in the building there. Now if they're in that building you can actually push over a little to the right there and they can't get you. So I'll just go hide in there for a bit and at least try and decap it there. We'll push those Pathfinders up to cap that southern fuel. Pathfinders are going up to the Muni here. Now obviously their NGs were standing suspiciously in a circle, so I was like, yep, they've planted a mine there. And then I threw the grenade and I was like, oh, okay, they mustn't have planted a mine there. And then next minute, they walk straight on top of a fucking mine. So I don't really know what happened there, but yeah, anyway, we bail out with those Pathfinders, and unfortunately that mine that we saw before, yeah, they hit that. Lucky to not get wiped there, very lucky, and yeah, we're going to start pushing up on the VP, take out the Muni, and then we're going to push up on their fuel again. Again, it's all about denying them fuel and keeping our own. We're going to, again, just jump in the buildings with each unit there. We're going to push up on their Muni, and now we've got the M16. He doesn't know we've got it. I don't think he expects it. Yeah, we're going to start pushing up, and we're going to actually go for a cut-off here. We've got the motor pool coming out. I know a lot of people skip and go straight for Shermans, but I really like the motor pool myself. And here we go. And so obviously I see this and realise that they're going to send their units up to try and get their own fuel. So I'll push up with the M16, hoping to catch all their units out on the way up. Now we're going to retreat the paratroopers and send the Pathfinder straight into the fuel, and yep, we caught them out and they've just bailed. Now we're going to send the Pathfinders over to cut off their other fuel, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, going to pretty much seal the deal. Seal the win for the game. I just don't see how they could possibly come back from this. Yeah, we've certainly cut them off hard. Again, we've done this just by avoiding fights, not taking them, and then just outmaneuvering and just capping when they can't. I'll push up with everything again. Obviously, they've brought all the units out this way. We're going to back up with the M16, leaving their fuel. We'll bail there again, not trying to take fights. M16 in there. I got a little bit too close. Obviously, it does take small arms damage, so while they don't have any AT weaponry, they certainly do. 3 units when it's in close proximities do start to rack up a little bit of damage. But I'm going for a Greyhound. I know a lot of people don't like the Greyhound, but in this case and this how the game was going, I figured he's going to have nothing to challenge it. But yeah, the M16 there is just going to town on those guys. He's still got visibility and he's out of range, so he's pretty safe. Now in the replay, I see that the scout car was there, but during the game I actually did not. Luckily for me, it wasn't an upgraded scout car because it would have just torn it to pieces. But the M16 does actually do a fair bit of damage to the scout car itself. So he bails there. He really probably should have committed, I guess. Even if he lost that, he would have lost. I would have lost my M16. I've got a Greyhound out though, so he's obviously got nothing to counter that. And yeah, it's GG. He sees Greyhound and calls it. So that was the first game of Airborne. So for the second game, I won't bother you with the first couple of minutes. Same thing, send the second unit straight up to their fuel. This time they actually beat me there with some Angies, and they've obviously got Grens there as well. So we're just going to bail on that straight away. Completely, obviously, like I was saying just before, we don't want to take the fights. We're just going to send our second unit of Pathfinders back to our muni and start capping that. Now, I just want to clarify, it's not about actually not taking fights. If you can 2v1, say a unit of Engies or something with Pathfinders, then 100% do it. But if you're going to trade blow for blow, there's no point. You're just bleeding manpower. You're better off just conceding and retreating straight back. On a positive note, it looks like we are just going to come straight over and cap our own fuel. We'll probably be a little bit behind. Obviously, they were already capping when we were up there, and they would have been connecting, so we'll have a little less fuel than they do currently, but that's okay. I've gone weapon support, and this time I'm changing up my strat a little bit, and we're going to go the overpowered sniper from America. The one that got buffed in that first patch and definitely needs to be reviewed. Now, as I was saying, we don't want to take fights, but obviously this is slightly different. They're obviously in green cover. I'll obviously want to hold them there till the sniper comes up and starts taking units out, and we can start bleeding them manpower. Right, so the sniper's up there taking shots. They're obviously seeing that they fall back. Yeah, we're going to push across and decap their fuel while they're on our connection point there. With the southern scouts, they're obviously uncontested. We're just going to keep pushing and capping as much as possible. That's obviously what you want to be doing, is just keep pushing and just keep capping. Now, unfortunately, bad play here by me. They caught me out. Obviously, retreat that sniper ASAP. We do not want to lose him. We're just keeping the Pathfinders there just while the sniper was retreating. Decapped that. There's no point in sticking around for the capture of the fuel point, because obviously we're not connected, so we're just going to push straight down and start decapping their big muni. Meanwhile, south, we're going to push on their muni and actually take our units of Pathfinders up and start trying to cap their fuel outside their base. But again, they push on us. We're not going to hang around, and we bail and retreat on that straight away. Good news is that we seem to be decapping their fuel uncontested, but they're trying to do the same to us. Luckily, we've got the sniper there. He can start taking some units out. We've got the M16 almost out, so my plan was to sort of try and draw them over a bit. But yeah, again, they start shooting at the sniper, and you just retreat it straight away. You don't want to hang around at all. And yep, we have managed to decap their fuel. It looks like we're actually going to cap it, push the M16 up, try and take out this unit that's on our fuel, bring the sniper back up, and see if we can get rid of this unit. And yeah, he snipes him on retreat, which is... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, snipers being able to take out units so easily on retreat. They don't do it every time, but it does happen quite often. Again, I shouldn't have been taking this fight. I was obviously concentrating on other things. I should have battled them a lot sooner than I did. But we're going to push the M16 straight up there and keep the pressure on, because they will not have anything to be able to deal with that at the moment. M16 arrives and obviously just starts annihilating the Engies they pull off. We keep the fuel. And yeah, so at this stage we're going to have a lot more fuel than they would be, and we're going to send our Pathfinders to actually start capping the victory points, because it's something myself I'm not very good at. I always forget about the VPs, and sometimes that can come back to bite me in the end. We're going for the motor pool again. Like I said, I like going for the motor pool. I think it gives you decent options and doesn't leave you too vulnerable. Unfortunately, I let the Pigrens get too close to the M16. They get a Shrek off, which is, yeah, obviously pretty damaging to that. They get it in the arse, so she's going pretty slowly. Luckily, I've got the sniper there. He's obviously going to get some really good shots in while the M16 tries to escape. Pathfinders is just there. Obviously, Pathfinder's up there starting to decap fuel. My attention's not really on them. They're obviously hell-bent on getting the M16, so the sniper is able to stick around and continue laying some fire on those guys. They do get close enough, get the second Shrek off, and I actually thought I was going to lose it, but yeah, somehow I didn't. Unfortunately, I did lose a unit of Pathfinders though. Obviously, my attention was all on the sniper and the M16. But we will take the opportunity to push up with those Pathfinders and start decapping again. The Pathfinders in the middle there, they're alright. They're obviously, you know, it's not a bad matchup there. I haven't even selected paratroopers yet. I definitely should have, but look, I'll let you in on a little secret. This guy's ELO is a little bit below mine, so I wasn't too worried. And obviously at this point in the game I felt like I definitely had a lot of control. But I still did want to show you this game because I felt like it showcased exactly what Pathfinders still can do even after the current patch. Yeah, we're going for a Greyhound again. it's not, I don't do it all the time. It's just these games have been we've been pretty dominating, you know, the fuel matchup, so I wasn't too concerned there. M16 by miracle made it back, and it's getting repaired there. They're trying to cap their fuel back. We're decapping their fuel. You know, it's all pretty standard play at the moment. Okay, so one Greyhound's out, but we're actually just going to hold on to it for a little bit and wait for the second one. This is, again, I didn't feel like we were under too much pressure, and I really wanted to, like, the shock of two Greyhounds more than actually just applying pressure with one. I wanted him to not prepare for the Greyhound by building AT. I wanted to get both out in the field so he didn't realise and didn't have a chance. Yeah, so we're going to push over with the Greyhounds straight over to that northern side. C-47s are ready to deploy reinforcements. Give the word. And finally we get paratroopers and drop them straight on the engineers there. They shouldn't have any dramas. And yeah, both the Greyhounds out here, obviously they retreat. They've got no chance to get into them. Now we're going to really start to apply the pressure. We're going to push over onto their fuel. Try and zone them off before they decap, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. They'll get the decap. We'll bring our units back out. We'll run away with our paratroopers there and bring the M16 over to support them. We'll just try and hold the paratroopers there long enough that they can keep them held up for the M16. We're going to chase down this unit. I was hoping to get a wipe on them, but unfortunately they don't really get any good shots in. But I thought we'd go for a base dive anyway, see if we can finish them off while they're so low on health. And then that's when I realised obviously they've got the verbal Vin, and we decide to get the fuck out of there. Obviously trying to micro the Greyhounds away. They've obviously got the speed on the whirlwind. I should have been coming straight back here and building a Chaffee. Obviously there you go, it happens now, but at the time I was just trying to get away. Again, very lucky to get away with him. I split them up, obviously I just try and keep them away now. Obviously they're just going to wreck my units of infantry, so no point hanging around, bail on them. So we'll push over with the Pathfinders and try and start capping their fuel again. The Chaffee's almost out. The M16 is down south there. We're going to give the paratroopers Zooks, Chaffee's out, and obviously we see the verbal wind heading down towards the M16. And that was part of my greater plan, and we'll try and bait him over with the M16, leave him there long enough that he thinks he'll be able to commit with the verbal wind, and send the Chaffee over to that direction as well. Chaffee's coming up. We haven't seen, yeah, I thought we would have seen it by now, but there you go, we see it on the capture point there. So we're going to dive straight in with the Chaffee, and we're just going to make a meal of this. It's while the verbal wind's a good tank, it can't stand up to a Chaffee at all. The Chaffee absolutely dominates it. He realises this and calls it GG. So there you go, guys. It's a couple of games. Nothing absolutely spectacular or anything. Just showcasing that the paratroopers, that the Pathfinders, how you should use them and what makes them so strong. And Airborne is still a decent choice post patch. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.